That was a good start. I was yawning.
Yawning. We're live! Hey, everybody.
I just realized that was an interesting start. I was yawning.
Yawning. Look, Ollie represents how we all feel after a day at the hospital.
I was just thinking when we go live, when I'm in the hospital, and then we tell you guys, like, at any point when a nurse or doctor comes in, like, we're going to, like, hang up really fast. Because I was thinking I'm getting ready to get a shipment, and I don't know when it's going to come.
That's true.
So if we hang up really fast, that's why. Or
if we keep up with our track record of the last couple of live streams, we might knock the cord out of the computer and lose our internet connection.
Which is really hysterical to me that the technology world has come so far that we now are going back in time in technology, and we are now using an Ethernet cord again. When we were in college, it wasn't before wireless, like Wi-Fi, but our dorms didn't have it.
It was before, like, Wi-Fi. Well, no. I mean, Wi-Fi was pretty much everywhere, but, like
at Starbucks and stuff.
Yeah.
But not campus-wide.
Yeah. Like, in our dorms.
They were getting it, like, soon after we left. But yeah, in our dorms, like, we had to have an Ethernet cable that stretched across to your desk. And
actually, this is funny. This Ethernet cable that we're using, I bought for my room in college, and it's 100 feet long, so that I could, like, go down the hall and still be connected to the internet.
What a different world. Well, and it's funny. Some of you are probably like, I've never heard of Ethernet. That's possible. So it's this cord. It was really funny trying to explain it, but it's like trying to explain, like, a telephone, right?
Well,
it used to have a cord in it, and you'd have to be tied to the wall. And when you'd spin around in a circle, the cord will get wrapped around your neck. Well, that's what an Ethernet cable is. It goes into the computer, and that was, like, how the internet got into your computer, through the cable.
So we use it for our live stream now so that we have a stable connection, because sometimes the Wi-Fi goes in and out. Anyways, we did not plan to tell you that backstory.
Speaking of college, though.
Oh, guys, this past Sunday, I was coming up with, so when I'm preaching at church, I like to illustrate or introduce the topic that I'm going to be talking about by connecting it with something, like, concrete.
Right.
And so I was talking about the difference between knowing facts about someone and actually knowing them. And so I pulled out this game called Guess Who. I'm sure most of us remember this game. But in college, I gave Mary a gift of this game. We were dating at the time. And we really loved our experience in college. We loved our professors. They had a tremendous impact on our lives and how we think about life and ourselves and the world and you guys and all of that. And so our professors were really dear to us. So, you want to tell them what I made you?
So he made me, and I will also add, I was like, I've always been very, like, teacher's pet.
Oh,
like,
she's a total teacher's pet.
Like, I love getting to know my professors, and I loved, like, staying after class, like, ask questions, and, like, I really enjoyed getting to know the professors. Anyway, so I had, like, posters in my dorm room of, like, the professors, which, you know, now that I think about it, sounds weird, but at our school, like, they would be like, oh, we're interviewing Dr. Smith about such and such a topic. So they'd put a poster up. So then when the event was done, I'd be like, I'll have the poster, please. So I had, like, posters of my professors.
You still have a McDuffie poster?
Yes, downstairs. Nice. So Peter made me the Guess Who game, but instead of the really
that's
high quality characters on the back,
there's actually a real one. I think I covered it up. I think that's the pets version. But
okay. So it's our professors from school. So you choose which professor you're going to represent up at the top. And then the other person has to guess. So they'll be like, who will be like, oh, saints, who, saints, whatever. And they describe the professor or whatever. And I had forgotten about this. So when Peter had it out on Sunday, I thought, where did you get that game? And then he was like, this is the one I made for you. And I was like, I forgot. Where was it?
It was in, we have that like pleather stool that has board games in it.
You said stool.
Stool.
Medical nerd jokes. Hey, that pleather stool would be helpful up here.
Yeah, I could bring it. It's been in the basement for 2 years. 3 years.
3 years.
Or storage for longer.
So it was down in there because that's where our board games are.
Yep, exactly.
Where
because we play board games so often.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so that was our random fact of the day, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Oh, last week my parents were here.
Oh yeah.
On
the live stream ended up being really short.
Oh yeah, because of the cord, Ethernet cord. So we talked about college.
Anyways, if you guys want an update on how today went at the hospital and all of that, tune into tomorrow's vlog. We thought we'd share what we do when we get home after a long day at the hospital. It's usually pretty exhausting because we live like an hour from the hospital, and so
that's like no traffic.
Yeah, so coming home, it was like an hour and a half coming home, and then we were at the hospital for a few hours because Mary we met with her doctor, and she did a research study today.
So the research study, I was like ecstatic in general about doing it because I'm excluded from most research studies for a number of different reasons. The biggest reason being my liver. Like any medication research study, I'm almost always excluded because I have liver disease. So that like limits the amount that I can help with. And like so for me, I've loved being in research studies since I was young. And it's like always been my choice. Like it's never been forced on me. And so it's always like your choice. Do you want to do this or not? And I'm always like, yeah, sign me up. So, if it can help either current people, like if it can help them be more informed for treating me, cool. But most likely for research, it's for future generation. It's for future patients, like researching things that will be in the future. Anyway, now that my liver disease and now my lung function also excludes me. Once your lung function drops to a certain place, like you can't help with the research studies, most of them. But this one was an ear research study. So they're studying kind of how, I don't really know. I don't know. I don't really know a whole lot about it. Also, I'm not supposed to say a whole lot about it. So I can't say like what study it is or anything like that. I can just say it's a research study about the ears. But today was like the first. I filled out a bunch of forms online like a couple days ago. But so they bring in like this huge headset. And then Peter took a picture of me. I look really intent because I was trying really hard. And it's like a tablet. It's like a computer system with the headphones.
Yeah.
And it was
it was exhausting for you, wasn't it?
Well, it was. I was trying really hard, and I think like straining to hear it like gave me a headache. Plus then I started coughing, so that didn't help. But I was like trying really hard, and the computer program was like, I'm sorry, you didn't push the button. Let's try that again. And I was like, I didn't hear anything. You said push it if you hear something. So I was laughing because I was like, hey, give me a break. I'm doing my best. And then Peter was like,
It was funny.
it was funny because Peter could apparently hear it from across the room and I
Yeah.
couldn't hear it at all. Is it a CF specific study? Yeah, I think this one is.
So,
Yeah. So anyway, we did that today. That was a little exhausting, but I'm glad I'm glad to be able to do it because, like I said, most studies I can't do. He's really just
he's conked out.
Yeah.
Usually when we get home after a day at the hospital, we come in the house and like drop our things and
literally on the floor.
And then we kind of like either sit on the couch or go on the bed and just rest for a while because it's exhausting.
Yeah.
I think just not. It's like physically exhausting for Mary, but I think it's just also like that emotional roller coaster of going to clinic and then.
Well, and the days leading up to it, you're like thinking like, okay, what's the plan going to be, and like, what are our options? And so then once it's over, it's kind of like, okay, we can stop thinking for a couple of days.
Yeah. So we filmed a lot today, and it'll be in the vlog tomorrow, and you can tune in tomorrow to see some of that. I think Sarah asked earlier before we started talking about the research study how the bread baking at church went yesterday.
I saw that.
So I mentioned it. If you saw the vlog a couple days ago, I mentioned that I was going to be baking a loaf of bread during the service, and then it would be kind of an illustration in my sermon. And it went really good. It actually went better than I expected because it's kind of a big sanctuary, and I had the bread maker on the stage, and I could smell it, but I didn't think everyone would be able to smell the bread baking. But that was my hope, was that people could smell it. Anyways, afterward, everybody's like, the whole time I was smelling bread. I thought somebody was in the kitchen baking, all this stuff. So it went really well, and it was really funny when in the middle of speaking, the bread maker went off beeping, and I was like, oh, let me get the fresh bread out. And I like get the oven mitts and get it out. And anyways, it was a good illustration.
I think that's amazing. So he got up early and had to start the bread so it would work at the right time.
Yeah.
But he did it.
Yeah, it was fun.
He talked about it this week. And like, we're already kind of having a crazy week, right? And I'm like, okay, like maybe it'll work.
Mary's like, why don't you just like get a loaf from Panera and you can stick it in the bread maker like you made it?
I'm sorry.
No. She was realistically skeptical.
I was just trying to make it easier for him. But I was placing a Walmart order as he was telling me his grand hopes and desires to make bread during his sermon. And so I was like, oh, I'll just place this order and order the things that you need.
Yeah, it worked out great.
And so it worked.
And so then...
So we made one. You made a loaf on Saturday.
I made a loaf on Saturday. I made a loaf on Sunday. And then after church on Sunday, well, it was perfect because after church, we all ate I didn't even get any. People ate the bread and made sandwiches with it. And then I got home, and Mary and I made another loaf of bread.
And then this morning, he toasted it for me and put butter on it. And it was awesome. 6 minutes till American Idol comes on, people.
People, we need your money.
Have you guys seen Little Rascals? I think it's like 1994, maybe. We love that movie so much. And one of the lines in there, the little boy is like at this county fair type of thing, and they're trying to fundraise. And he stands up and he goes, People, we need your money. And we joke around.
I think we quote that movie more than I realize.
Yeah.
Because what's the other line? I feel like there's one. You aren't thinking about alfalfa, are you?
Oh, no.
Or Darla. You aren't thinking about Darla,
Yeah.
are you? But guys, Ollie is like the cutest thing in the world.
That is so true. Are you just the cutest thing ever?
I got a pickle. I got a pickle. I got a pickle. Hey, 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 hey.
I think I saw somebody else watched it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Little Rascals is a classic.
Oh man. All right, guys. I'm fading.
We're fading.
Fading.
We're gonna peace out. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Check in tomorrow's vlog if you want to watch all the hospital shenanigans. And thank you for joining us from the UK.
Whoop, whoop.
And from all the places.
All the places.
Bye, you guys. Thank you so much.
And as always,
we will see you tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.